Shalom, Akim, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, doing the work of truth and sincerity. It's going to be a quick one, about who Esau is, just a simple video, and let me get right on into it. But first,
Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
so let's get right into it.
I find in the United States, in this country, a lot of white Americans don't know who they are. Because what we got to remember is when they hit the eastern shores, when they were being brought here, they were told to be disconnect from the European world. They were told no longer to be that. They were told to be this illusion, an American. There's no American. We're all from somewhere. We all came from somewhere. And so it's important that the American people here touch base with who they are, because that will give them back that sense of identity, that give them that sense of connecting to the earth. But as long as they're living in an illusion way of life, then they're always going to be numb and never feel these things. And that's what I mean about being truthful. Because, it's easy for me to say it because I have a lot of people I've met in America. I have a lot of friends. And even when I do my public speakings, you have a lot of white Americans take me aside and they tell me, Mr. Nosy, what you're saying is great and everything. But the thing that really is where we lose you is when you begin to talk about ancestors. Because you can go back from your grandfather, great-grandfather, grandfather. But with us, we can't do that, because when our families hit the shores of America, we were told to be an American.
So they were told to be an American. Let's go back to the so-called white man's ancestors then. And we're going to use prophecy to do that. If you don't know what a prophet is, I will tell you. This is, what is it? This is, matter of fact, Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things I do declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. That is the essence of prophecy. Before they spring forth, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, tells you of them. So that's prophecy. So, and let me read this. Amos chapter 3 verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. So the Heavenly Father revealed his secret to his servants the prophets. In other words, he's not going to come down here and tell you himself. He revealed his secret to his servants the prophets, and they tell you. So let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse starting at 4. Matter of fact, I'll start at 4. Who oppresseth and exalteth himself above that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked one be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the mystery of iniquity already works. He opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, and that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So that's two clues that he gave. The mystery of iniquity was working in Paul's time, which he was in the Roman Empire, and this is called Thessalonians, so he was in Thessalonica, which is, well, let's get the history, a brief overview of was Thessalonica. Thessalonica was an ancient city of Macedon in the northern Greece, which today is the city of Thessalonica, or Thessaloniki. made capital of the Roman province of Macedon. The city flourished due to its location and major trade route to the east and continued to thrive as one of the most important cities in the Byzantine Empire. So during the Rome, it was made a capital of a Roman Empire in Macedon. It was the capital of a Roman Empire in Macedon during the Kingdom of Rome. So there you go. And like I already read, surely the Heavenly Father will do nothing, but He revealed His secret to His servants, the prophets. So what He's going to destroy with the with His mouth is the prophets. Let's get another clue. Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So that's another clue as to who the so-called white man is. Their possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So these people, these Americans do that. And they're only part of this, because so-called white people around the world do this. They slay so-called Negroes or blacks, whatever you want to call us. They slay Israelites and hold themselves not guilty, as if they've done nothing wrong. Isaiah 14:6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth. So he smites the people in wrath with a continual stroke, so he's been doing it for a long time. Look at the history of America. It's only been around something like 250 years. We just passed the 250-year anniversary of America, and they've had war all but 2 years, and that wasn't consecutive. So they smote the people with a continual stroke in wrath, and none hindereth. They ruled the nations in anger, and they still ruling in anger. And these are just clues, all found in the scriptures about who you Americans and you other YT people are. Revelations chapter 12. Well, let's start at 7. Where the angel of Michael is. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out of heaven, and his angels were cast out with him. So this person, or these people, they deceive the whole world. And that's another clue. They lied to the whole world about something. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So he covered the faces of the judges. And the main judge, you would know as Yahweh Shai. Well, people would call him by another name, which is JC, world renowned. In Maccabees it says this, First Maccabees 3:48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image. So if you paint the likeness of your image, then you covering up the faces of the judges. So these are all clues so you can find out who the wicked is. And we can get the ancestry of the so-called white man, because he fits all of these clues. fits the clues of exalting himself above everything that is called the Heavenly Father. And he fit the clues of the mystery of iniquity already working. People don't know it though. Why? Because he deceived the whole world. You know, he slays his victims and holds himself not guilty, even making money off of the slain and the oppressed. He rules in wrath, and he never stopped. Ever since Esau has been in any type of power, he's always ruled by his military. And that goes for the Roman and Greek empires as well. And he has always had an oppressed class. And of course, he deceiveth the whole world. So the world is given into his hand. So whose hand is the world in? You know. And also he laid open the book of the law, which the law is the Bible. So who are these people? To paint their images in the book of the law or the Bible. So, of course, we look at the Renaissance period as evidence. And this, it reads, the Renaissance was a European cultural, artistic, and intellectual movement in the 14th to the 17th centuries, marked by the revival of classic learning, humanism, and innovation in art, science, and politics. At least that's what they say. But when you look at the images, you know, these are their images. And a lot of these images that they had were painted over. You know, they showing their most painted images. They're not showing the iconoclasm which happened. Matter of fact, let's look that up. Iconoclasm. And these are the images during that period that they painted over. Let's see what it says in iconoclasm: the action of attacking or assertively rejecting cherished beliefs and institutions or established values and practices. So when in Maccabees it said, laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their image, so the Heavenly Father in the book of the law would look like them. That's what happens in iconoclasm, which happened during the Renaissance period. And when you look at this iconoclasm, the images, they look very similar to certain other images, which is the Russian icons, which are images that the Russians had saved so they couldn't paint over them. So these images pretty much stayed intact. And you know, the same images that got iconoclasts during the Renaissance period, these are the original images. Like these are the holy men, Moses, John, you know, and certain other holy men. And you can just see what they look like. They are Israelites, dark-skinned men, you know. So that covers that prophecy, because all of these were prophecies back then, whom we can go to right now to basically say who they are. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So we have a name here. The violence against thy brother Jacob. And who was Jacob's brother? This is Genesis 25 and 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian Padanaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because his wife was barren, and the Lord, Yahweh, was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. The children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be fulfilled, when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And Esau, if you look up the word, it means wasted. Why? Because he had no melanin. And after that came his brother out and took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And they never described Jacob because Jacob came out like everybody else with melanin, with a certain level of melanin, and Esau didn't. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And that's basically one big clue to who Esau's people descendants are. And guess who the winner of these descendants are? You may have guessed it, the so-called white people. So they have, these Americans and all these wasted people. They have an identity crisis because they don't know that they're Edomites. Well, I just went through a line of prophecies that prove that they are, in their respective countries. Because these prophecies don't just go to one country; they go to Esau as an identity. So you so-called white Americans, you don't have to struggle no more to trace your ancestry. You are Edomites. So now you know, and you can get back to your historical ancestral roots, which you've been doing the whole time anyway, because you've always been acting like an Edomite would act, because that's who you are. But that's the video, and hope you Akim were edified. Till next time, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kwakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you Akim doing the work of truth sincerity. Till the next time, Shalom.